Can anyone hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, oh. I always, Jugsy's here, by the way. Hey, Jugsy. I always screw up the audio right away. I don't know why I can't seem to get that right. Uh, Ever. Let's try that again. This is the advice stream. I'm your host, Jeremy International. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. I am joined, as has been traditional for many weeks now, by Oldman. Hey, Oldman. Can you still not hear me?
How are you?
Oh, good. Can you hear me now?
And yes, there's no echoes. Well, hold on. No echoes.
Okay, but can you hear me?
Yes. But there's a little echo.
Oldman, are you there? Hello?
I'm there.
Okay. Was that a dog barking or was that you?
It was me barking.
Okay, cool. Hey, Oldman, let's do this. Jugsy's saying in the chat here that you still have some echo. I don't hear the echo at all. Can you keep talking, Oldman? Tell me about your day. What'd you do today? What'd you have for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast. I can still hear an echo.
Okay.
A Pop-Tart would have been the thing that I would have eaten.
Fascinating.
I'm trying not to interrupt myself.
Where could that echo be coming from, Oldman? Because I'm not getting it on my end. I don't see it on any of my levels.
We're both wearing earphones.
You're wearing earphones. You're using a microphone.
I'm gonna try to switch out of this.
Man, this is showbiz. I need a drink. It's been, Jugsy says, I like it. He sounds like a space being from Star Trek. Well, we're all about Star Trek on the advice stream. How's everybody else doing out there while we're waiting to get our technical difficulties sorted out? Anyone in the chat have anything particularly? Let's try to keep things positive. There's a lot of negative things in the world, and we should feel negative about them, and we should speak negatively about things we see that we don't like. But we can also take a little break.
I think it was
that for a few minutes. Oh, you back?
Yes, and I don't hear an echo. Or I do, but it's not terrible.
Did you unplug something? What happened?
I switched to the microphone in these.
Oh.
But I'm still hearing an echo.
I wish I could tell you more, but I'm not getting one at all. Is the volume on is the audio from your computer only coming through your headphones, or is it coming from your headphones and your computer speakers?
I fucking hope that it's just my...
PG Doug says that there's still a lot of an echo.
It was me. I'm so sorry.
Is it gone now?
But now I can't hear Jeremy.
I can hear
or anything. My goodness.
Hey Amir, thanks for joining the show. PG Doug's here, Jugsy's here. We're having some audio difficulties. I don't think there's anything I can do about it on my end. But we're waiting to see if Oldman's figured out anything on his end. What about now, Oldman? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And audience at home, does Oldman still have an echo? Say something, Oldman. Do you know any Shakespearean soliloquies?
Soliloquies? I wish I knew some soliloquies. I see.
PG Doug says still there's an echo.
What about now?
Well, I don't hear an echo, but it does sound like you're talking to me from inside of a toilet bowl.
That would be correct about my current state.
It sounds like the part in a Kylie Minogue song where they do the audio effect where she's singing and it sounds like she's underwater.
I don't hear an echo anymore. Except now I do.
Okay. Why don't we do this, old man, just so we can keep the show going? Why don't you leave the room, the sharing the remote guest room we have right now, and see if you can figure out what's going on with audio, and then you can join us later.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay. Jugsy says there's clearly a demon inside those headphones and it keeps changing. LOL. Yeah, I think that's the most likely explanation. Amir says maybe the Bluetooth is messing up the microphone. Happens to me often. Yeah, when you're dealing with audio stuff, you want to make sure that you have a single audio source at all times. The audio is only going through your headphones. You're using only a single microphone unless you've got it going through some kind of mixer or something. So I hope I sound okay to everybody, relatively speaking. But I hope everyone's doing well. I'm snacking because I want to snack. It is my show. I do what I want. I'm having a little bit of bourbon. Once again, my show. I do what I want. I can drink responsibly. Oh, I enjoy that. And so if you'd like to seek advice from me, your friend, Jeremy International, why don't you head on over to JeremyInternational.com. There's a contact form you can use. I get those questions almost immediately beamed right into my telephone. And we can discuss as a community what's going on. I have a game that I was going to play today if everyone's up for it. I have my original PlayStation 1 modded with HDMI connected to my computer right now, and we can play some Silent Hill. I was thinking I've never played Silent Hill, but I have it for the PlayStation 1. We spent so much time last month talking about horror movies and scary stories, so I was thinking we'd keep that vibe going. This is like the advice/horror podcast. Maybe we can talk about some scary video games other people know about. And have a good time together if that seems doable. I had set up a screen so that it'd be me and Oldman and then the Silent Hill screen off to the side, but I think I can really quickly do a 1-in-1 where it's just me until Oldman comes back and then we can switch back over again. Let's try this out. And we'll reset. Cool. If you've played Silent Hill before, please let me know and tell me how scared I should be on a scale from 1 to I have to change my pants. Because I haven't. And if I gave anyone the impression last month when we were talking about all those horror movies that I was somehow resilient to being scared, that's not true at all. I'm a big scaredy cat. I gotta kind of frame myself in the circle here a little bit better. How does that work? Okay. So let's see how Silent Hill works. We'll play for a little bit. We do have some questions to get through tonight, and we shall. But let's see. I think I got some audio from this as well. This is 1999, by the way, is when this game came out. I looked it up. I think it looks pretty good. I really don't know anything about it. I don't know a lot about Silent Hill or the lore. I've never played any of the games. Never saw any of the movies. So I don't know. There's just seems to be some spooky stuff going on. That lady's in a church. That lady's got some real big collars. Oh boy, I gotta really get myself into this frame a little bit better. Here we go. That's Don Draper and the lady from Jurassic Park. And it seems like they're all in it together to discover why Silent Hill is so silent. That kid's asleep. Why is it silent? Is it like Silent Spring? Is it a toxic waste dump site? No one knows. No one knows. Is this supposed to be telling us information? We're supposed to know something about what's happening here? Don't do that. Don't touch that lady. She doesn't like it. She's saying no. There's a Jeep and a motorcycle racing. The nurse lady is still upset. More Jeep. Is this a commercial for Jeep? I want to buy a Jeep. Bye. Okay. Okay. Weird. Now I'm hearing a weird echo for me. Oh. Because I'm dumb. Okay, I fixed it. Okay, let's start. And we'll play it on normal. I like to start a game on normal, but I'll be honest with everybody, I usually play games on easy. Let's not joke about it. But here we go. Silent Hill, 1999, PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1, Silent Hill. Someone sleeping in their car. Been there. Done that. Oh, was there a kid? There was a kid sleeping in the car. I didn't see a car seat, though, buddy. Did he get in a wreck? He got in a wreck. He's black and white. And now we are running in slow motion. Do I do something here? I'm using the PlayStation controller without the analog sticks. I hope that's going to work out for us. Cheryl, where could you be? It's strange. It's quiet. Too quiet. You know, everyone says that. This place is like a ghost town. It's like some kind of Silent Hill, you know? Cheryl. I find it least plausible that there's a small child named Cheryl. It doesn't seem like a typical name. Oh boy, this is going to be hard because this is 3D more or less, and I have a directional pad and not an analog stick. So moving around is going to be a challenge. I already don't like it. Footsteps. I'm not controlling this, by the way. Cheryl? Share?
Cheryl? Is that Cheryl?
I'm glad I don't have to read the dialogue. Bye, Cheryl.
Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
The voice acting could be better. So now we go ahead. Lesson I've learned already is I need to buy a PlayStation 1 controller with analog sticks on it because this is going to destroy my thumbs. This is cool. I'm kind of into this. Fred Undead says, first video game to ever give me a jump scare. Oh, I don't need to hear that, Fred Undead. Oh boy. Yeah, can I even play this without analog sticks? Can someone go on eBay and buy me a PlayStation 1 controller with analog sticks, please? Cheryl? Cutscene again. There she is. Cheryl! Where are you going? Oh, she's getting away. Can I run faster? Oh, Fred Undead says the jump scare is about to happen. Oh, jeez. I don't have the map for this place. Oh, I must have pushed a button for a map. I'm trying to run. So, triangle must be the map. X, nothing. Circle, nothing. Square, runs. Oh, I saw her go this way. Yeah, oh man, this is gonna be rough. Uh-oh, beware of Dob. What's the Dob? Beware of DO8. Interact? I don't want to be scared. Oh, there's your problem. Did Cheryl get inside-outed here? What happened? Ew, I stepped in it. Gross. Can I look in these trash cans? Is this the kind of game where I need to look inside trash cans? Can someone answer that? I don't have a map for this place. Fred Undead said, it's the DO8. Oh boy, moving is really hard with a directional pad. Oh, I'm scared. I made a mistake playing this game. What's this camera angle? I'm feeling dizzy. This is giving me motion sickness. I've been meaning to buy a PlayStation 1 controller with analog sticks on it, and I never did, but this is a good reason to. There's no time like the present to work shit out. The Beastie Boys said that. The fact that I'm moving around so strangely is because if you've ever played a directional 3D more or less game with a directional pad, then that's the real terror. You'd have to be of a certain age to know what that's like. Oh god. That's strange. It's getting darker. Better than nothing, I guess. You know what's better is not being here. Oh, I don't like this. Amir says you should get one with vibration as well. Yeah, did they do that for the? I'm not a. Oh boy. There's a wheelchair with the wheel spinning. That's normal. Oh my god. I am surprised how immediately unsettled and terrified I am by this game. I'm having a strong reaction, and I wish I could say that I liked it. But I don't. How does the pause work? Why don't we pause? Because I'm freaking out already. And let's do a question. Shall we do a question? Let's do a question. Fred Undead says, yes, the PS1 had Aftershock. PG Doug says, very 90s camera angles. I know. It's weird how, I don't know, maybe it's because, like, I'm from this time. Amir says the sound ambience is kind of soothing. I don't think anything about this game is soothing, Amir, but good for you if you do. I'm surprised by how unsettled and creeped out I am already. Maybe it's because Fred Undead told me there's a jump scare about to happen. But this game is creeping me out big time. Let's take a break, and we have questions to read. So let's read one. Here's one. Here's a question that's not about spooky stuff happening in Silent Hill. Let's see. Last night, while on my phone, I came across a shirt that was movie themed. I showed it to my boyfriend saying, maybe I should get it to commemorate seeing the movie. And he responded, sure, if you want to look stupid. I'm acting that line. I don't know the inflection, of course, that the person said when he said that, but I added it in my own. This would be funny to me if he was joking. Okay. But it isn't meant in jest. This devolved into somewhat of a back and forth because even if I did get it, now it feels soured by my boyfriend's opinion. He said he wasn't being mean because he was, and this is the person's quotes here, telling the truth. I was suddenly reminded of the type of person on the internet that says they're just being honest. I've never thought, oh, Oldman, are you back?
I hope so. But I can still hear it.
Let's get a read from the audience at home, everybody. Is Oldman got some echo? Say something, Oldman. Say something.
Hello.
Okay, we got to say more than that. Keep going.
How's it going, people?
If you didn't have breakfast, what'd you have for lunch? What'd you have for lunch?
I didn't have lunch. I had tea. I had coffee.
Oh man, can I give you some advice, Oldman?
What's that?
You gotta have a meal during the day of some kind. Some people don't eat breakfast, that's fine. Some people don't have lunch, that's fine. You gotta have one or the other, though. You can't skip both. Your body needs fuel, man.
I agree with that. It's not the best strategy.
It's
I
not.
still
You gotta
have
have one. You know, dinner is great. Everyone likes dinner, but you gotta have lunch or breakfast. You know
All
what
right,
I like to do
if
for
you can
breakfast?
give me 10 minutes, I will set up things downstairs.
If it's, Fred Undead says there's still an echo.
Yes.
Okay, come back when you're ready to come back.
10 minutes.
Okay, I'll switch back over. The problem with technology, man, I can't get in this little frame, and I don't want to fix it now. Oldman, if you can hear me in whatever universe you're in right now, PG Doug is asking if you have wired headphones, because I agree that would be the best. I'm wired. Can you see my wire in my little circle? My circle's too little. What was I going to say? Oh, going back to the question. He said he wasn't being mean because he was telling the truth. I was suddenly reminded of the type of person on the internet that says they're just being honest. I've never thought of him that way until now, though he has said things like this before. For example, last year, I wanted to carve a pumpkin for the first time in years, so we got one from a pumpkin patch and brought it home. Before I could even start carving, he started unprompted rattling off reasons it was a bad idea. No one would see it because it was already Halloween. This would take more than a day. Why are you wasting your time, etc.? We don't even get trick-or-treaters on our street, so it had always just been about me having fun in the first place. I had to fight back tears because I still wanted to carve my jack-o'-lantern. How do I explain that his opinions are hurtful? I have brought up examples like the pumpkin one before, but I feel like I'm not explaining it well enough to him. Amir says I use Mumble with my friends often, and we have sound issues every time. Computer sound is messy. Yeah, I agree, Amir. Computer sound is messy. It's always important with technology to, especially when you're doing something live, something that's, higher stakes. Not that the show is high stakes at all. You go wired when you can. You avoid wireless things that can cause problems, and you got to limit your options when you're doing audio. I know that's tricky. I don't know, honestly, what Oldman's setup is, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. Okay, so back to the question. So this person, in a nutshell, is saying that their boyfriend's kind of mean, and very specifically said that they look stupid once, which is a lot, and says that they're not being mean because they're just telling the truth. And I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. Please go into the chat if you have anything you'd like to share, or if you have any particularly relevant experience. I think it's really funny when people say that I'm not being mean because I'm telling the truth. The truth can sometimes be mean. And sometimes also the truth doesn't need to be shared. I think there's a thing that some types of people do, and I think there's a specific type of kind of hetero male style person that really feels like every thought that comes into their head needs to be shared verbally. Not saying something is not the same thing as lying. Just telling the truth, whether it's true or not, although I don't know how wearing a t-shirt from a movie could make anybody look stupid personally. This person seems like he's not bringing you joy. He's not adding to your light. He's taking away from your light. And that is a really great reason to not be with somebody. Jugsy says, delete boyfriend. I'm inclined to agree. Fred Undead says, people need to stop getting with mid assholes. Yeah, I agree with this. Well, first off, there's nothing mid about how much of an asshole this guy is. He is a stellar asshole. He might be mid everything else, but he's not half-assing the assholeness. Letter writer, I feel like this is the advice I give a lot when people write in with relationship questions is dump him and find somebody better. But that's what I'm saying here is if someone doesn't contribute to your being, if they don't contribute to your light, if they don't make you brighter and better, then don't waste your time with them. That's not worth having someone in your life that doesn't add to you. The whole purpose of a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's friends, is someone that adds to your brilliance. And this person isn't doing that for you. They're trying at least to diminish it, and I'm a little concerned that they are. So get rid of them and find someone that makes you want to be you. Because why else would you want to have someone in your life? Jugsy says, partners should bring out the best in you and vice versa. Yes, Jugsy, yes. That's what it all boils down to. Without that, it's inevitably going to be bad. Yeah. You know, I would want someone to tell me if I was about to leave the house and I was dressed in a way or I was doing something that might make me look, I'm not going to say stupid, but maybe foolish or whatever, then I'd want them to let me know that. But I don't see how a t-shirt from a movie could make anybody look stupid. And I'm going to tell you, that word, the stupid word, is a real mean word. And you better be real careful when you use that if you ever use that with somebody. I don't believe there's such a thing as stupid people, but sometimes people do stupid things. But do we need to tell them that? And do we need to use that very unkind word when we say that to them? I don't think so. I'm with you, Jugsy. Your partner should add to your light, not take it away. By the way, when I'm saying light, I don't mean like literal, like a mystical or spiritual light. I don't believe in that. I mean a very much proverbial, like what makes you you and what makes you the great, special, unique person that you are, because everyone is special and unique. You need to find someone that makes that brighter, not less. PG Doug says, someone that is smart enough to have tact. Even if I thought this shirt was lame, I would just say, meh, it's not my favorite. Yeah, I agree with that. And when I say I'm getting ready to leave the house, and maybe I'm looking foolish or stupid or whatever, you know, like I have a very limited wardrobe by choice, and I have for a very long time. And sometimes I like to mix it up and explore and try new things. And sometimes those choices I make don't work out, and I need someone to let me know that before I leave the house. That's all I'll say about that. Okay. I'm like in the corner of this circle because this is where I'm comfortable. And I should be in the middle of the circle. What about here? No, here? And then I have to sit up a little bit higher. I did not do the circle great today. Okay. All right, deep breath, a little sip of bourbon. We're going to go back to Silent Hill. Promise me you won't judge me, audience at home, if something jumps out and scares me and I react strongly. Thank you in advance for not doing that. Okay, here we go. It also doesn't help. No, it doesn't help that it's so hard to control him with the directional pad. Oh my god, there's a hospital bed. I don't know about this game, guys. Is there something in it? There's something in the hospital bed, and it's covered in flies. Fred Undead, I just want to go on the record to say, knew that I was going to play this tonight and didn't say anything about how legitimately terrifying this game is. Just want to let you know that, Fred Undead. Thank you. Here we go. I don't like it. If anyone has suggestions about not terrifying PlayStation 1 games, I don't have a lot of PlayStation 1 games, but I have a few, and I suspect most of them are less scary than this. Fred Undead says, I told you how terrifying it is many, many, many times before tonight. Yeah, well, that was probably like years ago. I don't remember that. You made the choice, bud. I did. I did indeed, and here I am. Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna reduce the sound a little bit because it's stressing me out. Something's gonna jump out at me. PG Doug said someone is gonna get MRSA in that hospital. They better have malpractice insurance. Oh, something's happening. Cutscene. Oh boy. Is it gonna jump out at me? What do you think it is? It's a body. What's going on here? That's a good question. Oh god, okay. Was that it? Was that the jump scare? What do I do? Do I do something? Is that the end of the game? Did I die? Am I dead? Oh god. No, I'm not. Ah! What was that look? Amir, I loved Tamba as a kid on the PlayStation 1. I never had a PlayStation.
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm all right, I guess.
Glad to hear it.
Hmm.
You from around here? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist. I came here for a vacation. I just got here. I don't know what happened. I'd like to find out myself.
Me too. No, I really don't want to find out. I just want to go.
Have you seen a little girl? Just turned 7 last month. Short, black hair. My daughter.
Sorry.
He seems kind of nonchalant
The
about
only
not
person I've
knowing
seen
where
in
his
this
kid
town
is.
You.
Where is everybody?
I'd tell you if I knew, believe me. But from what I can tell, something bizarre's going on.
Ja, you think?
That's all I know. What's your name?
Harry. Harry Mason.
Harry Mason.
Sybil Bennett.
I don't know why that's funny.
I'm a police officer from Brams, the next town over.
Huh. Brams.
The phones are all dead, and the radio too. I'm going back to call in some reinforcements.
Good idea. The National Guard.
Hold it. Where do you think you're going?
My daughter. I've got to find her.
Is this
No way.
supposed to feel like Twin Peaks?
It's dangerous out there.
In that case, I need to find her now. Cheryl's my little girl. I can't just leave her out there by herself.
No, I got you, dude. I got you.
Have you got a gun?
No.
Take this, and hope you don't have to use it. Now listen to me. Before you pull the trigger, know who you're shooting. And don't do it unless you have to. And don't go blasting me by mistake.
Yeah, PG Doug. The music is very Twin Peaks, but also like the weird
Yeah.
like
Thanks.
lack of flow to the dialogue and all of these like weird long pauses in between is one of the reasons I really don't care
I'll be
for
back
Twin
with help
Peaks.
as quick as I can.
I wonder if that's what they were going for. Jugsy says, Cheryl's my little girl. I don't want to go out there. Can we look around the diner? They have some Mighty Fried Pie here. It is so hard. Can we just play pinball instead of going out into the terror of the world? What's this? Do I push a button? I don't have a map for this place. Are you lost in the diner? There is a health drink. Take it? No, but can I keep it? What's the other things? PG Doug says, she's very trusting. I'm a police officer. Stranger, here's my gun. Oh, there's a knife too. Can I have the knife? I need as many weapons as possible because I'm scared. Scared people need to have lots of weapons. There's a health drink. Take it? No, I don't need it right now. Do I? What's my health? Do I have health? Is it full? What's this? A radio. Is it broken? Can't hear anything. So for those of us just joining us, I should probably say something here. This is the advice stream. I'm your host, Jeremy International. We're generally joined by my friend and sidekick and fan of the show, Oldman. Oldman was having some audio problems, so he might be joining us a little bit later. We are playing currently 1999's Silent Hill for the PlayStation 1. As a reminder, we don't always play games on the advice stream, but when we do, we play original physical copies of games from my personal old video game collection. You can see here, by the way, this is a black, not a green label, a black label copy of Silent Hill. If you follow video game collecting, you know that that's really cool. And so this is what we're doing, and I regret it for many reasons. One is that this game's way scarier than I thought it would be. And secondly, I don't have... PlayStation 1's had these directional pads, but they eventually had more modern kind of like analog thumbsticks that you might see on a video game controller from modern times. And this is a mostly 3D game, and moving through 3D space with a directional pad is challenging to say the least. So in addition to moving through this terrifying hellscape of a game, I also can't do it very, very well. And that is adding to the overall unpleasant and stressful vibe that I'm experiencing with this game. But we're here, and this is a show, and this is what I said I was going to do, and we're going to do it. We're currently live, by the way, on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and if you would like to seek advice and give me something of a reason to stop playing this game for a few minutes while I'm freaked out, then please head on over to JeremyInternational.com. There's a contact form you can use there to submit questions. I read them anonymously right here in the stream as you send them in. There's no delay. You can get advice right now if you'd like to. I do have a few questions in the queue. We just answered one, so I feel like we should give it a few minutes, and I should play the game for a little bit more until I need to take another break before I have a panic attack. And we'll do another one when we get there. The next one I have is, I think, really fascinating, and I would love to hear everyone's thought on it. You know, the great thing to me, in my opinion, about the advice stream is when people have questions, we talk about it as a community. We have guests, we talk about it, the people in the chat talk about it, that we discuss this live as a community. Because that's what we are. It's not a very big community. But community is community. And I think that's really fun and great. And I'm glad you're all here to help me help people. If I haven't said already, today's episode is unofficially sponsored by Blue Diamond almonds, specifically the wasabi and soy sauce ones. I could eat these all day long because they're so good. If you haven't had these before, go out and buy a bag. Blue Diamond almonds doesn't give me any money, but if they wanted to, I'd take it. If you know anyone at Blue Diamond Almonds and they're looking for ways to make unofficial sponsors official, then I'm here for that. So, you know my number. And by that I mean my website, JeremyInternational.com. Been a little while since I posted on the blog there. I should probably do something up there soon. Maybe I should check for something useful before I leave. Well, you got a gun, buddy. What else could you want? Ketchup and mustard? Someday, someone may experience these bizarre events. Hopefully, they will find my notes useful. Oh. I see. This is where you save. You gotta look for those little notepads. Create a new file. Yes, please. Wait, did I do it? Create a new file. Did I do it? I do have a memory card inserted. I do. Oh God. If for you kids out there, back before large amounts of internal storage was available when you were playing video games, consoles had these memory cards. The PlayStation 1 had one, and the Nintendo's GameCube, which was more or less contemporary to the PlayStation 1, had one. And I believe so did the original Xbox have one. Oh, I see slot 1, but how do I do it? What button do I push? Do I push start? Oh, now saving. Yes, you push start. I'm in the cafe. I've been playing for 24 minutes. It feels like 1,000 years. No, I don't want to overwrite that. I want to leave. Okay, well, so I saved. That's an important lesson. It kind of looks like a day planner or something. Now, can I leave?
Hello.
Oh my God, you scared me so much, Oldman. You terrified me. Hold on a second.
There's no reason I should be having echo.
Okay, well, let's get you back into the feed here. Button, who's got the button? God, you scared me. Why am I doing this to myself in this game where I'm scaring myself so much? Whew. Okay, let's take a minute. Let's take a minute.
Echo.
Hey, audience at home, does Oldman have an echo?
Echo.
I don't hear an echo still, but I never did to begin with. They're like a minute behind us, Oldman, so let's give them a minute to see. Wait, Jugsy, did I accidentally quote Willy Wonka and didn't realize that I did it because I've seen that movie so many times I'm unknowingly quoting Willy Wonka? PG Doug says a little bit as far as the echo goes. Amir says, I guess the echo is not that bad. At least Jeremy audio is not echoing on Oldman's end. That's a good at least. Start Rec said, oh, wait. Is Oldman Start Rec? I'm always confused. I'm just going to type here, Oldman says. Jugsy says, I don't know what that means. Yeah, okay. There's too many people in the chat. There's never enough people in the chat, let's be honest.
You know what is the most reliable way to have a video conference is Switcher. I would recommend that you get Switcher as soon as you can.
Do you think it's the app I'm using that's causing the problems?
I can't imagine why it would be not working right now. I have very few things connected to my computer. It's these headphones, this microphone.
Your computer speakers aren't producing any sound?
My computer speakers aren't even on. They're not even plugged in.
Okay. PG Doug says a lot of echo. Could it be something that I'm doing? Hold on, let's have a look. Say something else, old man.
La 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 la. Hello. I have lots of advice to give.
What about say something else?
Hello. Oh, no echo. There we go.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing is when I reduce the volume on your channel, you're just not there.
That's strange.
Say something else. Can you say something else, Oldman? Can you hear me? No. Hold on, we're gonna fix this right now. Say something now.
Hello. Still an echo.
You still hear an echo.
There's no way that it's on mine.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
But I don't understand.
I don't either. But this is a really good excuse for me to not play Silent Hill for a minute because I'm freaking out. I'm not disagreeing with the idea that this could actually end up being on my end now. But you gotta, like, tell me a story, old man. Tell me about the first time you saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
The first time I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off, that must have been when I was a teenager. I discovered that Ben, whatever, his show on Comedy Central was not quite as innocent as I thought it was. Hello.
You mean Ben Stein?
Ben Stein.
Yeah, he wasn't. His record doesn't hold up very well. Is he dead? Ben
I hope
Stein?
so.
Did he make it?
I hope so. I hope he's dead.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's not kind of the vibe we're going on the advice stream, old man. I have to say.
No, I hope Ben Stein is dead. He was a Nixon person.
I understand that. Yeah, that's still not on brand for us. The advice stream is all about not wishing death to people.
Is it?
Yeah, I personally, I would never wish ill on a fellow primate, even the really bad ones. Man, I don't know what's happening. I see.
I'm going to go on my phone because the phone will work.
Why don't we? I have another idea. Let's just do a little science experiment. We'll do a live for everybody at home. I'm going to invite you to a Zoom meeting, and I'm going to add you in through Zoom.
Smart.
Okay.
All right,
so
I'm going to exit this for now.
Yeah, hang up and give me a second to set that up. Hey, everybody, we're just going to go to a little commercial break. I'll be right back.
join the Stitcher chat or whatever.
No, just do what you're doing. Let's just leave it like that. We're live.
Okay.
Hello, we're back.
We're back with no echo. Echo.
Hopefully no echo. Let us know if you see any echo there.
It's all my fault. Blame Oldman. Blame me, because I'm the one that didn't show up until right before the show.
Amir says it sounds great now, so that's cool. We did it.
Good.
We did it, everybody.
I'm so glad we did it. Yay!
We just got a question that came in through the website. Do we want to go ahead and discuss that as a group?
Yes, thank God.
I am always, well, first off, I'm always very excited when people send questions in through JeremyInternational.com. And if you're just joining the show, as a reminder, you can always head over to JeremyInternational.com. There's a contact form there you can use to send us questions we can discuss as a group. I'm excited because I always am when people do that, but I'm also excited to have another few minutes before I have to start playing Silent Hill again because it's freaking me out.
Okay, fair.
So here's a question that came through. I find it difficult to have serious or contentious discussions with my partner when they have bigger stressors going on. I feel like we need to discuss some things, but it's hard to bring them up when the person is experiencing lots of family or health or other issues. What can I do to keep the relationship healthy while so much is going, I'm assuming it says so much is going on. It kind of cuts off at the end. Yeah, that's a difficult one. That's a difficult one for sure. How do you make sure that you can have time to have serious and important conversations with your partner when your partner is going through difficult times on their own? Do you have any thoughts on that, Oldman?
I feel like part of a normal relationship is being able to deal with your partner's problems that are personal. And if you care about somebody, you're going to be able to at least try to comfort them in those awful times.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, like, my thoughts have always been that important relationships, and once again, this could be someone you're dating, it could be someone you're married to, it could be a family member, it could be a really close friend, that are real relationships that you're invested in are always going to require from time to time what I would just call difficult conversations, hard conversations. They're, conversations like you did this thing that hurt my feelings and we need to talk about it. Or there's something that I need in my life that's not being met right now and we need to have a conversation about it. Those difficult conversations can be about money. They can be about long-term plans that have changed. We talked about this a lot last time too. People change. That is the only thing that is for sure. And being serious about your relationship with someone means that you are dedicated to at least doing your best to change together. When someone is struggling and they're having a hard time for things that aren't necessarily related to you, work is hard, family is hard, health is hard. I've been through all of those things over and over and over again. It becomes really difficult to have those serious conversations because, a person needs to be focused. People say this all the time. This isn't me, but your immediate needs need to be met. You don't want to have a difficult conversation when someone's hungry or when someone's tired or when someone's had a difficult day at work. But sometimes people have every day is a difficult day at work. Jobs sometimes are hard and they do that to people. So how do you navigate that? How do you find ways to have those difficult conversations when your partner is ongoing in a state of crisis of their own? It'd be easy to say to wait until they're not in a state of crisis, but that is also not fair to you because those difficult conversations need to happen. one of the things that I'll say, and I've been in relationships like this in the past, is that you have to, I'm not saying this is the case here. I'm not saying necessarily this is something you, letter writer, need to be concerned about, but this is something people in general should be concerned about. Is there is a type of person, whether on purpose or whether subconsciously or kind of perpetually in a state of crisis, because they don't want to have those difficult conversations with their partner. When you're drowning, you don't have to worry about saving somebody. You don't have to worry about helping somebody else. And as a result, there are people, some people do it on purpose, and some people don't realize that they're doing it, but they do, that are always drowning. Because as long as you're drowning, you don't have to worry about helping somebody else. And it's a defense mechanism that some people do, assuming positive intent. Some people do that subconsciously, but they do it. So the first thing I'd say is, I don't know you, letter writer. I don't know what the details are, but just look out for that, because that is a thing. Some people, unfortunately, do it on purpose, knowingly, because they don't want to have to contribute to in that way. But I think most people that do that are doing it unknowingly, as a subconscious defense mechanism. Assuming none of that's the case with you, what can you do to at least give your partner a little bit of a reprieve from the struggles they're going through, so that they have a little bit more bandwidth for you? I can't stress enough how important it is to not not give up on having those difficult conversations with your partner. You owe it to them, you owe it to yourself. But navigating that and finding the right time to do that when someone is going through a struggle is hard. But maybe, hopefully if it's a struggle with their family, maybe you can take a little break, go to a place, go on like a little vacation if you can, go away for a weekend, turn off all your technology, unplug for a weekend so they can have a little bit of a break from the stuff in their family that's causing them trouble. If it's their work, if it's their job that's stressing them out, hopefully they get a little bit of vacation time at some point so they can have a little bit of a reprieve. Health stuff is a little bit harder. We talk about this a lot on the show. I'm a health stuff person. I have a lot of chronic illnesses, and I've been through a lot physically. And sometimes it's hard for me, honestly, being honest here, to make room for other people's struggles, because my struggle is sometimes very at the forefront of my life. But that's not always the case. And if it is always the case, then, you need a new doctor. So I'm hoping that you can find a way to have a break, to get a little bit of a break for your partner so they have a little bit of a reprieve, so they can hear whatever it is you have to tell them. That's the best I can tell you. It's a difficult situation to be in. Don't give up having that difficult conversation. You owe it to them to do it. But you need to find a way to carve out a little bit of space for them so that they have the bandwidth to accept and hear what you're going through. And be on the lookout for the type of person that is putting themselves into crisis on purpose, maybe subconsciously. Because if that's the case, then that's a different story altogether. If you're like me and you live in America, then this isn't always an easy thing for people to do. But therapy is a good guide for that. Even like couples therapy is wonderful and helpful. And that can kind of create a space outside of the struggles of your life where you're like, this is the hour or an hour and a half where we're going to have the difficult conversations. We've carved this out of our day. And there's going to be a third party there that's not going to take anyone's side if they're a good therapist. That's going to be kind of an advocate, not for any one of you, but for the relationship as a being. That can hopefully guide you through those difficult conversations. I know sometimes that sort of thing can be very expensive and can be outside of the reach of lots of people, but that would be another thing I would consider doing if you are able to. If you're, the partner of a person that is chronically ill or having some other kind of ongoing problem, then therapy for yourself is a good idea. You can't make someone else go to therapy if they don't want to, but you can go to therapy if you want to. And being able to have a third party where you can just say, I don't know what to do. This is my problem. They might not be able to give you an answer, but at least, a space where you can vocalize what your problem is and have someone listen to you is valuable too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I talked a lot on that one. Let's see what people in the chat have to say. Amir says, I guess that's only so much you can do in a situation like that because a relationship is made up of two people. And so the other person necessarily has to pitch in also. Maybe that could be a good place to start talking about it with the other person. Yeah, it takes two to tango. It takes two not to tango. And, I would hope that you're in the type of situation where you can go to your partner and say, hey, I know you're going through a lot of stuff and I don't want to put more on your plate. I don't want to dump more on your shoulders because I see your struggle and I respect your struggle, but I have a struggle too and we need to talk about it. And, I'm sorry that I have to have this struggle too, but I do, and it's my struggle and you're my partner and you need to know what I'm going through right now. That's a hard conversation to have. But being in a relationship is hard conversations. That's, I've not to spend too much time on this question, but it feels like this one's really hitting home for me. My dad always says that everything is, my dad says nothing counts when things are easy. And so any type of relationship, a marriage, a partnership, dating, friends, your relationship with your employer, your relationship with your employees, any type of relationship you have doesn't count when things are easy. Life only counts when things are hard. When it's easy, when life is easy, it's easy to do the right thing. So who cares? When life is hard, it's hard to do the right thing. And those are the times you have to look out for. That's how you know that you've met someone that you want to commit to. That's how you know you have a real friendship. That's how you know you're in the right kind of job. That's how you know you're in the right place, is how do people react when things are hard? And if they react poorly, then you know you're in the wrong place. You know that that's the wrong person. The unfortunate good news, I guess you can say, is that in any life, anyone's situation, it's only a matter of time before things get hard. People get sick, people lose their jobs, people get hurt, people have all kinds of crises. And so it's only a matter of time for any of us until things get hard. Life is really just waiting for enjoying the good times while you can in between when things get hard. And so this is a time when things are hard and you need to make sure that you're showing your partner that you're there for them, but you also need to make sure that you're showing them that they need to be there for you. So please don't give up on having that conversation. Find a way to at least carve out a little bit of space for them if they can get a break from whatever's struggling. Maybe they come home from a hard day at work and you have everything taken care of and you have their favorite food and you just have the ability to create a little bit of space that kind of charges up their spoons, that gives them a little bit of extra bandwidth so they can hear what you have to tell them. And hopefully they can. But it ain't going to be easy. But, like I was saying, nothing in life that counts is easy. It sucks, but that's how it is.
Yeah, I would say it's awful to put your partner through a test. You don't want to intentionally do something
of course.
like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you really understand a person when there is something terrible going on that you both have to deal with together.
Yeah.
That is an unintentional test. That's a test that the world is putting upon you.
Yeah.
And it does reveal, what those person's values are.
Yeah.
And I have to say, my cat just took a really rank dump. And so I'm really feeling bad about that, but I'm going to go fix that and I'm going to come right back. She doesn't care about me. That's the test.
That's the test, I guess. Yeah, the life throws you tests. Thanks, letter writer, for writing that in. I hope that was helpful to you. There's some situations in life where it's rough. But I wish you the best. I hope that you can find a way to have the conversations that you need to have, no matter what. Don't give up on having that conversation, though, because that means you're giving up on the relationship. Oldman, have you been following along with this game that much? I'm going to play for a little bit longer, and then we'll get to another question.
I haven't at all, but I'm really, really happy and excited to see you play a game finally since I've become your sidekick. So
yeah.
Please.
All right. Well, so I'll bring you up to speed a little bit. This game's very scary, and I'm very much on edge, and I'm freaking out about it. It's clearly made for a video game controller with analog sticks. I do not have one of those, so moving around is particularly challenging, which kind of ramps up the scariness. But we'll play.
I got some controllers I could give you, by the way, anytime.
Yeah, but this is a. Do you have a? This is in USB, man. This is a PlayStation 1. I'm using all original hardware, all original games. That's the show.
That's what I love about you.
So I gotta start digging around to see if I can find a deal for a PS1 controller with
Dual Shock. That's what they called it back in the day.
Yeah. I gotta see if I can find a deal on one of those, because this game's very difficult to move around in with the D-pad. But we'll play this for a little bit longer, and then I got a couple more questions I want to get to. Once again, this is the advice stream. I'm your host, Jeremy International. I am joined today, as I often am, by Oldman, and we are playing 1999 Silent Hill on the PlayStation 1, and it is bothering me a lot more than I thought it would. Here we go. Were you going to say something, Oldman? You put your finger up.
That was me drawing attention to your speech.
Oh. If I didn't say, we're live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, this game is really scary, especially because I can't walk. So can I leave now? It wouldn't let me leave before. It said I needed to get something useful. But then I figured out how we save. Maybe you should check for something useful before you leave. Okay.
I just want to let you know that I'm following the Twitch on my phone right now. That's not me just like spacing out or nothing.
Thank you. You're not texting anybody?
I'm not texting anybody right now. I'm just doing what I can.
Yeah, see how hard, it's so hard to move around with this. Can I...
Health drink.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't think I need it.
It gives you 2... What?
I don't know. I'm so confused.
It's a health drink, but
I also don't know what button does anything. I think I'm saying no. The Afrobot. Hey, the Afrobot. Thanks for joining the show. I remember getting this game back in the day, but not starting it till like one Saturday morning. I hung up a blanket on my window to make it dark. Well, Afrobot, let me tell you, whatever age you were then is braver than I am now.
That's really cute, though.
Yeah, and I can also tell you, Afrobot, I watched your stream a little while ago when you were playing Control, and I love that game. It is also a scary game. But boy, did I enjoy that. It's one of those games that has stuck with me, and I think about it a lot. Here's another one. Can I take it? No, it's not letting me take it. If anyone knows what I'm supposed to be doing, please tell me. What's this red thing? Oh, it's so hard to move around. A radio, but it's broken. Okay, so I don't take the radio.
But you know the button now.
I have no idea what button I just pushed. Well, there's other stuff. What's this? Is there other stuff here?
That looks like a map. That looks like the map that you need.
It does. Oh, here's a flashlight. Yes, I want the flashlight. Wait, did I take the flashlight? Start. You have to hit the start button to do that.
ridiculous.
It does look like a map. What just happened? There it is.
There you go.
Oh, and then I lost the game. Weird.
No.
And the game came back.
You're just in a different angle.
So now I'm assuming I can, first off, push this button and get the map.
Oh my gosh, it takes so long to
It
load.
really does. And I hope that while I'm in the map, the game is paused and not some horrible monstrosity is going to sneak up on me. Afrobot says the blanket fell down mid-game and scared the daylights out of me. Move. Okay, now I bet I can leave. I got a gun, by the way. I met a police officer who's just like, here's a gun.
Sure.
As they do. What? No? Okay, I guess I'm not done yet. I'm walking backwards. I got a map. Can I get over the counter? Is this a Denny's? Did someone order a moon over my hammy and I gotta make it? Yes.
I will say, like, the graphics seem to hold up pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, also, just so that you know, so my PlayStation 1 has been modified, so the graphics are a little upscaled. It's going out through HDMI at 1080. So, you know, I keep in mind that when people were playing this and when this game was new in 1999, they were probably using CRTs. They were connecting with AV cables, and they'd be lucky if they got 720. More likely that they were probably getting like 240 resolution or something. So this is definitely not quite historically accurate to what it would have looked like when it was a new game in 1999. 1999, by the way, I was a freshman in college.
That's because you're old.
Because I'm old. People
You're
call
older.
you old men.
Older than old men, exactly.
Older than old men. Oh, God.
What's that?
What is it?
What's that?
Huh. Radio.
Huh? Radio?
What's going on with that radio?
It's very natural dialogue.
Yeah, the voice acting's not great. Oh, God. Oh, God. How do I use my gun?
I'm very sorry to tell you, but I can't hear what's happening.
Here, I'll reduce the volume a little bit. Okay, here's my gun. How do I use it? Can you hear me better?
I can hear you, but the sound effects. But that could be.
I don't know. Oh, and now I'm losing the connection. I brought up the map. I don't know how to use the gun. Here's also the problem, old man, is that when I do reduce the volume for the game, I'm reducing your volume. Say something else?
I am an NPC. from
Okay, good.
Silent
All right,
Hill.
I fixed it. Okay.
Yeah, today was the worst day for me to like try to arrange my chords. I took all the chords out from my computer and I tried to like put little ties on them.
Yeah, I do that. You try to do some chord management. All right,
That's
you know
I was
what?
trying to do today.
I don't know what's going on with this game. I keep losing the connection, and I'm scared anyways. So why don't we leave it, and let's do another question, shall we?
Sure. I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this partner who I do a show.
Oh, you have an advice question.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a partner who I do a show with, and the last 2 meetings I've been late. And I've been really trying to engage myself in this show because I like the person I'm doing it with, and it's been fun. But I'm kind of worried that he's gonna slash me as his sidekick after this because I've been so unreliable. So what do you think?
Well, first off, last time you were late wasn't really your fault because I had said that we had a last minute change of plans for the show, and I wasn't clear enough, and you misunderstood. And okay, what is this?
This is about a friend. This isn't about me.
Okay. Hold on a second.
No, it's about me and you. I'm sorry.
Well, I know it's about you. I'm not an idiot.
I am, of course.
You know, like, I would say that I'm also doing not a great job of planning in advance. I mean, I'm letting you know, said I'm sending out an invitation, you know, exactly when I needed you to be on the computer tonight. And that wasn't right because I should have done it more in advance.
It's all good.
We both could be doing a better job. I think everybody in the world could be doing a better job.
We will get this together. We really will.
Yeah.
This is going to be a better stream once I have not done the wrong thing that day in terms of unplugging everything, every single cord downstairs.
Let's
And then maybe we'll figure out how Switcher works.
Yeah, hey Oldman, your people are saying in the chat too, your volume suddenly got really low. I haven't done anything.
Hello.
Well, that's not going to be helpful.
My lovelies.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Is there something on your end you could do? Because you're already max volumed out on my end.
I am so happy to see everyone.
Wait. I fixed it. Okay. Weird. Okay.
There is a volume knob on here. I could like set up the.
No, I got it. I fixed it. It's fine. All right, let's do another question. It's taking me 30 years of life to realize I view all relationships as transactional by nature. Maybe I'm mistaking what is an expected rubber banding between give and take, but even as a child, I always kept a counter on what I had done for loved ones because I feared if I didn't consciously keep it in balance, I would use up someone's reserves and turn their opinion against me. I used to employ gifts and other external motivations to feel socially secure. Many a birthday party in my teens involved cash giveaways. But when I realized that could come across as tacky, I moved on to taking the role of a rainy day friend and avoided being emotionally indebted as much as possible. Few of my friendships have survived this imbalance. I've been nearly begging to rely on others, but I only trust the sentiment, not the follow-through. Experience suggests people allow others to lean on them, to have someone to lean on in return. And if they don't fear losing that support, they wouldn't offer their own. It is a burden in the end. How do I get out of this mindset that relationships are all just exchanges of obligations to fulfill needs? I don't know how to even begin. That's a doozy. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the first thing to say is that not all relationships are transactional, but this person seems to understand that as like the outset of their question.
Yeah.
Which is, how do I get out of this pattern?
Yeah.
This awful mental pattern of thinking that every relationship is transactional. I feel like a lot of people deal with this problem because every relationship under capitalism is cast as transactional.
Yeah.
And you need to realize, let me try to put it in like a way that I have dealt with myself. I feel like I've had to realize that, like, even online, these relationships are not transactional. It's not something that you're going to get something out of to know somebody just because, the only way that you know them is through some, mediated transaction with Facebook. or something like that. And yeah, I mean that's something that you have to actively think. There is another person on this end.
Yeah.
There's a human being. It's not some chatbot. It's not some well, sometimes it's a chatbot, but usually it's not.
Usually it's not.
People online especially tend to dehumanize one another, and yeah, you need to understand that that's not the reality.
Yeah. Oh no, you finish. You finish.
I was just going to say, as far as this person goes, it seems like that's a much more advanced case of exactly the same thing, where it's not just people online that they have learned over years to have transactional relationships with, which in the first place is wrong.
Yeah.
It sounds like a younger person to me, maybe, that has grown up in this transactional phase.
And they start by saying it's taken me 30 years.
Oh, 30 years.
Yeah,
never mind.
so they have to be at least, I'm assuming they don't mean that that's their entire life, so that they're
no, probably not.
I certainly think that some types of relationships are transactional, and people forgetting that is much to their detriment. Like it's the idea everyone says that like they go to work and their boss says we're a family here. Like, no, that is a transactional relationship. And your work, at least in that particular regard, unless you're a co-owner or you're in a union or something, is if you work in a co-op or something like that. Otherwise, it's absolutely it's a transactional relationship. Hopefully, most like interpersonal relationships aren't. Regardless of the nature of transactional relationships or not, or why they exist, and I agree with you that so much of our culture is set up on what do you provide, how can you add to productivity, and if you can't, then you're not worth anything. That's so much of what happens in our culture, and hopefully, we're moving in spheres and in communities where that is less of a focus. But the bottom line is this person saying that they have this kind of instinctive, habitual mindset that they understand is not great and is detrimental, and they want to end this kind of almost like intrusive way of thinking about people around them. And when I hear that, my first thought, and not to sound like a broken record, is this person's going to need help. They're going to need help from a mental health professional to kind of start to develop the tools to rewire the way they think about relationships with people. Like, good for you, letter writer, for realizing that this isn't how you want to be. If you weren't able to realize that, if you were just a person that understood that every interaction you have is transactional in nature, and you thought that was fine and normal, then I would say you're possibly a very ill person.
But they've already taken the first step in terms of recognizing
it.
Like, there's so many people that will not ever get to the point where they can recognize that there's even a problem.
Yeah.
And
I almost feel like a person that thinks this way and doesn't see a problem in it that's like something that like a sociopath would do, is to only see every person around them as what can they add to my life, and what do I need to do for or to them to get that value out of them.
Right. Life is not a series of WoW quests.
Right. Not everything can be measured. Not every interaction can be measured as a cost-benefit analysis.
No.
But I would say, if you've been thinking about people for so much of your life, you're going to need help. And, maybe that's a therapist, maybe it's a psychiatrist, maybe it's a psychologist, maybe it's a spiritual or a community leader or a trusted friend or something. But you're gonna need help sorting this out. You've been doing this your whole life, and it's not gonna be as simple as flipping a switch or learning, one or two tricks or something to stop thinking that way. If you have one set worldview for 30 years and you want to change it, it's not going to be easy to do that. It's certainly possible, and I really hope that you do, because I wouldn't. I would be very sad if I saw every relationship that way. It seems to me that this comes from a really deep-seated place of insecurity, I guess, is that no one could ever want to be my friend or want to do something for me because they love me or care about me. They would only do something for me because they're expecting me to do something for them in return. That's a really sad worldview, and I'm sad for you that this is how you've spent most of your life. But get some help in some way or another. I'd suggest getting a therapist, but you got lots of other options.
I feel like, yes, you're absolutely right. That this comes from a place of insecurity, and I hope people can hear me now. Saying let's get a therapist is very good advice for anybody. It doesn't matter whether you have a problem that you're completely set on or if you don't. Having somebody to talk to who's a professional is always a good idea. But I want to say, on the other hand, this person already recognizes that there's a problem.
Yeah.
And in order to recognize that there's a problem, that person has already come a long way. Like this person to say, oh, well, I treat relationships as transactional, is already somebody who's ready to not treat relationships as transactional because they know that there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
So get a therapist is great advice, but I think this person's already on the journey.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, this person's already ready to not treat relationships as transactional. They just need to know what that means.
Yeah. In these types of situations, it's almost like some version of what is it, like cognitive behavioral therapy, like to start to change these really deep-seated behaviors is hard to do. But it's doable, and good for you for understanding that you like you were saying, Oldman, you're right, that this person's already started that journey. They maybe only have taken the first one or two steps, but sometimes those are the hardest ones.
If you're somebody who's this, having a low opinion of yourself, which is something that I'm very familiar with, but you also are able to say things like this, then maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's not that bad. Yeah. It's easy to criticize yourself as someone who's always in your own mind.
Yeah.
You don't know what other people are thinking about you. It could be very easily possible that nobody else thinks that this person is treating his relation or her relationships as transactional. And regardless of whether that's, true or not, if they think that it's something they need to work on, then it's something they need to work on.
Yeah.
But yeah, therapy is always good.
Is always good for everybody. And I hate to use that as an answer, and I've already done it once on the show tonight, but I'm going to do it again. Yes. Because I think I think all of us kind of have these habits we get into, and kind of these functions of our worldview that become part of us for very long periods of time, and we don't always realize that they're there. But sometimes when we do, we can realize that they're not necessarily very fair to ourselves or to the people that are around us. They're not necessarily sustainable habits that we have. And, I can tell you that I had a very difficult time leaving a job I was in for a long time and needed the help of a therapist to start to understand why I was so terrified and powerless to even like apply for other jobs when I really wanted to leave. I didn't like it there. And that was huge for me to be able to kind of start to pick apart. This is the way that I feel. I don't like that I feel this way. It's not sustainable that I feel this way. It's not fair to me or to the other people in my life that I feel this way. My feelings are mine. I'm not saying that the feelings aren't fair, but the fact that I'm in this situation that causes these feelings and I'm powerless to do anything about it. That you need help to get out of that type of situation. And I would say that a therapist, a good one, is the best way to do that. One of the things we don't talk about a lot on this show, because I don't think that this is really my lived experience, and I doubt that it's yours either, Oldman, is that there's the type of work that therapists do can come from a lot of other places instead of just like a licensed therapist. So I think we can all acknowledge that that's the best option if you have access to it, but not everybody does. But, like if you're part of a spiritual or a religious community that actually is looking out for your emotional and mental and physical well-being, plenty of them aren't. But if you are, then maybe you can try that too.
Whether or not this is a big problem or a small problem is unknown unless you get somebody else's input. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Afrobot says, I can relate to wanting to leave a job, but just feeling deep into it. Yeah, I mean, that was a huge struggle for me. And therapy was a big help for me to kind of start to think about what am I scared of? And why do I feel so powerless to leave? And what kind of small leading to bigger and bigger steps can I take to start to take back control of that situation? And then, I did, and I got another job that I loved, and I did that for 7 months, and I got laid off.
And the software sucks. The software sucks. I'm so sorry to say that.
It works really well for everything else. We're not going to get into detail about that.
Sure, if I had a Mac, it would be working fine. But I just loaded up my laptop, and I assumed
we're not going to get into detail about jobs that I have or haven't had.
You're right. I'm so sorry.
The Afrobot says multiple friends have even mentioned how I should move on to better things, but the job security was fine. But just couldn't do it. Yeah. That's what we all do. We all have these roles and we sometimes get stuck in them. And the longer you're stuck in the role, the harder it is to get out of it. And that's when you need help.
All I'm going to say is they weren't very nice to Jeremy. And I feel
whoever
like
it was,
I don't even know who can say that.
I don't even know which job we're talking about now.
I don't either.
I think I have no regrets.
Yes, let's just leave it there.
But like the Afrobot, like it's so when I was stuck in this one particular job I did for a long time, and I wasn't happy, and I wanted to leave, and I couldn't. That one therapist I went to the first therapist I went to said, have you tried putting the job inside of a smaller box in your life? Have you tried making it less of an important thing? And I tried that, and I guess maybe that worked to an extent for a while, but I was there for 40 hours a week. And I don't want to put 40 hours a week of my life. That's a lot of my life. I don't want to put 40 hours a week into a smaller box. That doesn't leave me a lot to put into the big box. I'm glad that I found another therapist that was able to give me more like practical advice about this is what you need to start doing to be prepared to actually look for something else.
Your big box is pretty big, Jeremy. You had a lot of things going.
No, I agree.
It wasn't even if you were working 40 hours a week, somehow you made it all happen. and you did so much more than the general, the average person does. And I feel like I'm giving you advice now, and that's probably not what this show is about. But like, yeah, you need to recognize that, like, even when that was going on, you still had so much else outside of that.
Well, and and in hindsight, a lot of the challenges I had with that job were being caused by physical health issues that I wasn't properly dealing with. So the job itself and the workplace itself can only be blamed for that for an extent, for a little bit of that, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't in the type of condition I thought I was.
But given all the challenges that you had, and the fact that you were working a 40-hour work week with this corporation, I'm not going to name it, you did so much, man, and like I really respect it, and I think that you need to respect yourself for the past.
Getting my health in order and having things that I felt I had a little bit more control over outside of work was really valuable for that. The Afrobot says, I ended up getting a wake-up call when my grandmother passed, and I took time off for the funeral, but got 2 phone calls literally the day of the funeral asking if I can come in from 2 different managers. Jeez, that is a wake-up call. Amir says, sometimes finding a good therapist can be tricky. Definitely been there. Yeah, absolutely. And Amir then goes on to say evil corporation. Yeah. Yep. I in my particular giant corporation job, I was recovering from surgery for having cancer, and a manager called me and asked me when I was going to come back to work because they were short-staffed. And I literally had like a drainage tube in my neck from the surgery that I had just had. On another situation, my aunt passed away, and I took time to be there for the funeral and for sitting Shiva for my aunt. And when I came back, they said, the bereavement time is only for parents and siblings and spouses or something like that. And I I told the manager that was telling me that, I said, I need to talk to you privately. And we sat in their office, and I said, look, I don't know how your family works, but my aunt raised me as much as my mom did, and I spent as much time at her house. Like, maybe for you, an aunt is someone that you see every once in a while, but this was a profoundly important person in every aspect of my life, from being a child to an adult. And if I need to, like, make a case for that, or if I need to, I don't know, talk to someone else to get them to understand that this isn't just like some person I was vaguely related to that I saw on holidays or whatever. That's not how my family works, and maybe that's how your family works. I don't know. That's not my business.
I'm never wearing a turtleneck again. That's all I'm going to say.
Why? What?
I can't say anything more without like ruining the joke and also revealing the corporation, so I'm not going to say anything more.
Yeah. So anyways, that's work for you. Speaking of treating everyone like they're transactional, the Afrobot says, this happened to me when I worked at the same evil corporation. That's right, Afrobot. I remember. Know. Yeah, we worked at the same place. I think I forgot that, but I remember that now. I was told the same thing by them and got written up. Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyways.
I mean, not Jesus Christ, but like fucking Lordy. Let's say Lordy. That's the right way to say it. Yeah.
On that note, it's 10 to 11. I think we've had a good show, a little bit of a technological mess. I don't know why I kept losing a signal from the PlayStation. We had all kinds of audio issues that I think very well could have been on my end, but maybe not.
But next week, I'm going to be here 30 minutes in advance. We're going to work it all out, and there's not going to be any technical glitches that we don't work out beforehand.
Well, that depends on whether or not I can have my shit together 30 minutes in advance.
And whether your employer that had this software, the software is so bad.
It's really not.
I should be able to boot up my laptop, and it works. That's how it should be.
Yeah, and it is.
No, it wasn't tonight.
Okay. On that note, I very much not interested in having that kind of conversation.
No, we won't, and I'm very sorry for bringing it up. And it's my fault. It's absolutely my fault. But on the other hand, come on.
I also just want to go on the record to say what we're doing is actually not just turning on your computer networking. We're streaming from 2 very different locations live on the internet. There's a lot of factors going on. I think it's pretty impressive that it works as well as it does.
You are correct.
I'm gonna lean on that very heavily. But
okay.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. This has been some version of the Advice Stream. I'm your host, Jeremy International. I've been joined by Oldman tonight. We've been live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. As always, if you'd like to seek advice from Jeremy International, head on over to JeremyInternational.com. Every previous episode, give or take, of the show is there for your viewing pleasure. If you'd like to, ad-free, I want to add in. And there's a contact form there you can use if you want to send in questions for us to discuss on the next episode. What else should I say? There's a place you can also leave tips there if you'd like to. No pressure if you don't want to. I'm not doing this for the money, although I could do it for the money if someone wants to give me money. And this has been the show. So we'll see you hopefully next week. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Old Man.
Of course.